You lean over the bassinet in the sudden hush of the nursery. For one fleeting second, your newborn lies perfectly still, face soft and peaceful. Then the arms fling outward, fingers splaying wide, the tiny body arches, and a sharp, piercing cry slices through the quiet like an alarm. It can happen the moment you lay them down. It can erupt in the middle of sleep. It can arrive for reasons you cannot see. In that instant, many parents feel the same surge of doubt. Why are newborns so unpredictable? One moment they gaze at you with quiet intensity, the next they panic as if the world has betrayed them. They sleep so deeply they seem to vanish, then wake furious. The behavior looks chaotic, sometimes dramatic, occasionally even personal. Like you must have missed something, like you were already failing. But what if none of it is random? What if the crying, the staring, the twitching, the sudden startles, and the way they settle at the sound of your voice are not glitches, but vital clues? In the first 30 days, your baby is not merely adjusting to life outside the womb. Their brain is engaged in one of the most intense and foundational periods of human development. This is not learning facts or words in the ordinary sense. It's something deeper. The urgent construction of their very first internal map of reality. That map begins with a handful of life or death questions. The newborn brain is wired to answer. What is safe? What is familiar? Whose face is this? Whose voice? What is this body I inhabit? And when the world feels overwhelming, who will help me find my way back to calm? Many people assume the first month is little more than a blurry prelude before real development begins. Mostly sleeping, eating, crying, and staring blankly. From the outside, it can appear passive. Yet pioneering researchers like T. Barry Brazelton showed that newborns are far from blank slates waiting to awaken. They are active. Exquisitely sensitive organisms already studying their environment with the limited but powerful tools they possess. A newborn brain is not simply a smaller adult brain. It is a survival-first organ. The ancient, deeper systems responsible for basic regulation and threat detection are fully online, while the higher circuits for planning, filtering stimulation, and self-soothing remain immature. This mismatch explains almost everything that feels bewildering about the newborn period. Your baby can register distress long before they can do anything to resolve it. Consider that classic moment when you gently set them down and the cry erupts. To an adult, moving from warm arms to a crib mattress seems trivial. To a newborn nervous system, it registers as enormous. Temperature shifts, pressure changes, the disappearance of your heartbeat rhythm, the sudden absence of supportive containment. Gravity feels different. Their brain has not yet formed stable predictions for these transitions, so the arms fly out in the Moro reflex. Not as overreaction, but as an ancient alarm system announcing, I have lost the conditions that made me feel organized. This is the first crucial reframe of newborn life. Your baby is not giving you a hard time. Your baby is having a hard time. And for a while, their still developing nervous system relies on another nervous system yours to help steady it. Psychologists call this co-regulation. In everyday terms, your calm becomes part of how they learn to find calm. When your baby rests against your chest, they are bathed in warmth, pressure, scent, gentle movement, and the voice they already recognize from the womb. Studies by Anthony Ducasper and William Pfeiffer demonstrated that newborns can distinguish and prefer their mother's voice within hours of birth. That voice is not mere sound. It carries the familiar rhythms and vibrations that surrounded them before birth. Calming to it is early recognition, the first building block of safety. The same principle applies to faces. Newborn vision is blurry, but that blur is highly selective. Classic experiments by Robert Fance revealed that even hours-old infants pay special attention to face-like patterns. Their visual acuity is sharpest at roughly the distance between a parent's face and the baby's when being held. This is no coincidence. The world they see most clearly is the human world to your eyes, your hairline, the high contrast patterns that signal person. When your newborn stares at you with that intense, almost ancient gaze, they are not zoning out. They are conducting some of the earliest social learning of their life, mapping where comfort lives, where voice and face align, and where the outside world begins to make coherent sense. This is the quiet birth of the social brain. Long before reliable smiles or babbling appear, even deeper. In the first month, babies are learning not only about the external world, but about their own internal states. crying, so often misunderstood by adults as a simple problem to fix, is one of the few full-body tools newborns possess to signal overload, hunger, fatigue, discomfort, or general disorganization. They do not yet neatly separate these experiences. Sometimes distress has an obvious trigger. Often it is the accumulation of too much stimulation. Bright light, too much space, too little contact, or a sudden state change their immature systems cannot yet handle. Because their self-soothing circuits are still developing, once distress builds, they cannot simply calm themselves. They need external help to return to equilibrium. This repeated cycle of feeling overwhelmed and then being helped to settle forms the earliest scaffolding of emotional trust and attachment. Attachment theory, often discussed when babies become more obviously clingy, actually begins in these first weeks. In the newborn period, attachment is not yet about visible affection. It is about regulation. The baby's brain is quietly asking a profound question. When I lose my balance, does someone reliably help me find it again? That wordless question shapes expectations at the deepest biological level. Even sleep reveals this intense inner work. Newborn sleep often looks anything but restful. They twitch, grimace, smile, move their eyes rapidly beneath closed lids, grunt, and startle. Parents sometimes wonder if the baby is truly resting or fighting some invisible battle. Much of this active sleep, however, is developmental, not disturbance. Research by scientists like Mark Blumberg suggests these twitches help the brain map the body. Linking movement to sensation and building an internal sense of "this arm is mine, this kick came from me." What looks like random motion is the brain quietly rehearsing and wiring itself. Your baby will not form conscious, explicit memories of these early weeks the way you will. The brain systems that later create narrative recall are still immature, yet this does not mean nothing is being stored. It is being laid down as implicit memory patterns carried in the body, in expectations, in sensory associations. They may never consciously remember the 3 a.m. feeds or the rocking, but their nervous system is learning what a familiar voice feels like, how quickly distress can soften, what closeness does to the body. These repetitions shape the neurological foundation of security. Ordinary moments carry surprising weight. When your baby roots toward your skin, they are following one of their earliest survival pathways. When they settle in your arms, they are using the co-regulation system nature designed for them. When they stare at your face, they are collecting the architecture of human connection, even basic needs hunger, a wet diaper, gasar, never purely mechanical in the first month. They are sensory and relational, shaping how the brain organizes experience. Of course, enormous normal variation exists. Some babies are more alert, others sleepier. Some startle more intensely, others settle faster. The goal is never to compare your child against an imaginary perfect newborn. What matters is the overall pattern over time, brief moments of orientation to voice or touch, pockets of quiet alertness, the ability to feed, fuss, recover, and cycle back toward calm. If those windows seem consistently absent if a baby is extremely hard to rouse, struggles to feed, or rarely responds to sound or contact, it is worth seeking support early, without panic, but with attention. The deepest revelation of the first 30 days is this: what looks like helplessness is actually furious construction. What appears as drama is often sensory overload. What seems like clinginess is early regulation. What looks like blank staring is deep study. What feels like randomness is a brain building its first working model of being alive. In just 1 month, a newborn begins linking voice to safety, face to comfort, touch to regulation, and rhythm to relief. They do not yet understand love as a concept, but they are already learning its nervous system shaped through every hold, every whisper, every return to calm. Before language, before conscious memory, before personality fully emerges, there is this raw, astonishing window in which the human brain repeatedly asks the world, "Who holds me when everything is new?" And every ordinary act of care quietly answers,